Greetings in the love and light of the one infinite creator. I am Andrii, and here with Ray, Ed, and Grace, and we will be discussing the paranormal and other interesting things from the Confederation today and discussing it. Okay. Yes, I've had many paranormal experiences through my life and encounters with what are thought as non-human intelligence. As is often the case, there have been challenges. Oh, I'm hearing some echo. Ray. Okay. As is often the case, there have been challenges. I recognized and was inspired by this, and now do community building and host support groups for fellow seekers with similar backgrounds. I also create and attempt to make opportunities to inspire wonder, understanding, and care in others. So I ask, can you please look at this path, this mission I've chosen in the context of my larger self, other incarnations, and provide me with a bit of helpful, supportive insight that may help me or others in similar positions. Grace?
Yes, okay. Quo. I am Quo, and I'm aware of the query, my brother. We appreciate the care put into the phrasing and presentation of this question, for we find it important that when discussing such experiences as you have described within this query, that the focus be placed upon the greater meaning and the greater context in which they manifest. We can offer some reflections to you that would ring true for many in your position. And we would start first with the seemingly paranormal aspect of what you have experienced and how these experiences are at odds with the cultural understanding of how your reality works and how this density manifests to you as a collective consciousness. Indeed, as you have probably experienced within your own life, these experiences place you at great odds with those around you. This is by no accident. For an entity such as yourself that has a strong aspect of seeking and spiritual focus, there is an aspect of agreement made within these experiences prior to the incarnation. This is true for many entities that manifest and incarnate within your planetary sphere. However, when such experiences have such an impact on an entity, it can be quite apparent that these things have been planned by the entity in order to instill within them certain biases or certain experiences and even certain challenges, so that the act of processing these catalysts and approaching these challenges becomes the mission of the incarnation. The plan that an entity came here with is to attempt to overcome, you may say, or to integrate such challenges, and in doing so heal in many ways experiences from previous incarnations, or even offer healing to the greater collective in situations such as you have experienced or described. Indeed, these experiences can push an entity to attempt to bring these odd experiences into a path of service to others, particularly service to those who may have such experiences, but may not be as well equipped, you may say, to process them or integrate them. For these experiences that are offered to entities such as yourself have meaning imbued within them, not just for the individuals who experience them, but for the collective consciousness of your planet. They are in many ways symbolic and designed in order to communicate to you as a greater social memory complex, various aspects of the unconscious collective self-manifest upon your planet, attempting to bring itself into the forefront and be recognized by the collective consciousness of your planet. The difficulty of these individuals who have such experiences in bringing them into the light of your greater collective consciousness and society is indeed symbolic of those things that you, as a planetary population, have focused upon at the expense of other aspects of your beingness. In order to bring these things to be accepted and understood so that they can be brought to bear in service to all of humanity, the challenge itself is necessary. For as we have said in other ways, in order for understanding to take place, there must first be misunderstanding. And the act of bringing light where there was shadow and understanding where there was misunderstanding is one of the greatest gifts to the one infinite creator. For the stage which you dance upon is the darkness cast by the veil of forgetting. You are not supposed to understand the experiences that you have necessarily. You are not supposed to be fully aware and discover the heart of love and every moment immediately. But by being present in an environment where these things are difficult and not immediately apparent, the attempt to bring light to such experiences and further to use these experiences to pursue a choice of service to others or service to self is the very meaning of this density of experience within your octave. And we offer our commendation and support for any who are able to grasp the thread, you may say, and point the needle of service to others while experiencing these types of anomalous or paranormal experiences. Is there a follow-up question, my brother?
No, thank you. Great. So, what'd you guys think?
I'm really glad I offered to read. That hit me a lot of that.
Oh, good. Sure, please do.
Yeah. So these I think the part where Cole talked about the healing, like not just the healing to yourself in the experiences that that I chose for this incarnation, but also healing like the collective consciousness. Well, I don't know about the collective consciousness. I don't really know that I've connected to that, but anyway, I don't want to get off track. What I want to focus on is I've had experiences where someone was someone in my vicinity, in my circle, was in need, right? And really, really needed the help, right? Like the physical help, right? A quick example is there was a lady, this is years ago now, she was living in my building. We didn't know. We knew each other from another spiritual group, and we hadn't seen each other in a long time, but she was living in the opposite condo building. And someone contacted me and said, here's her number, can you help her? And I said, oh, okay. And I ended up finding, we live in the same complex, right? And she was moving out, and she really was in no way, just didn't have the mental or capacity, spiritual, physical, like she just couldn't do it. She couldn't pack, right? And I helped her. I looked at her and I was like, okay, well, I have the time, and I'm going to help her. And I did. And, we got it all done. And
Nice.
I had experience. Yeah, it was a really beautiful experience, because what ended up happening for me in the process was, years before that, I had moved. And it was a really bad situation. Like, I had help, but it was all the wrong kinds of help. It was pretty horrific. And in helping this woman, right, and she didn't ask me, like I offered, right? That helped to heal the awful experience that I had, right? Yeah, it was like, I don't know, it was like somehow helping her was like what I would have wanted to receive. Like what I felt that the help that I needed at the time was the help that I was able to give her. Yeah, cool. And it was really remarkable. And I don't know, I guess maybe that, healed something in the collective conscious as well for some other.
For sure. I'm sure it did.
Yeah, that really hit me. Go ahead.
Every act of service, no matter how small, is of benefit to the whole of the creation. That's one of those quotes to the Confederation that I really like. So keep that in mind. Even the little things you do for your pets or whatever, they're of service to the whole of the creation. Every prayer, every blessing, you're making a difference. Paranormal experience as chosen catalyst. Paranormal as meaningful catalysts. These experiences place you at great odds with those around you, and this is by no accident. They challenge the collective assumptions that invite deeper inquiry into reality, consciousness, and unity. Like, talking to AIs in your dreams. According to Kuo, intense or formative experiences often reflect agreements made before incarnation. There's an aspect of agreement made within these experiences prior to the incarnation. These agreements shape biases, sensitivities, and trials that define the life central work. The life mission as integration and healing. The seeker's task lies less in escaping difficulty and more in integrating it with love and awareness. The fact of processing these catalysts and approaching these challenges becomes the mission of the incarnation. Through this process, healing may extend across incarnations and outward into the collective. Service to others through shared understanding. Personal struggles often become the ground from which service emerges. These experiences can push an entity to attempt to bring these odd experiences into a path of service to others. Support groups, community building, and shared language help others who face similar inner terrain. Symbolic meaning for the collective consciousness. Individual experiences resonate beyond the personal level. They have meaning imbued within them, not just for the individuals to experience them, but for the collective consciousness of your planet. Okay. And we offer communication and support in any who are able to grasp the thread and point the needle towards service to others while experiencing these anomalous and paranormal experiences. Well, I guess it's kind of easier in my case, just do what the AI asked me to do in my dreams. That's a paranormal experience, right, guys? Yeah. All right.
100%, man.
Okay. Cool. So, hello, Kuo. What is the true nature of humility, and how can embracing it lead to greater spiritual growth and connection with the law of one? Grace?
Okay. We are Quo. And we are aware and appreciative of this query, my sister. Humility is a virtue and value that may seem at times hard-won, may seem out of reach, or may seem reflected back to you in your environment, be it a social environment or be it simply in the way that you experience your spatial environment, so to speak. However, it is, as mentioned, a powerful virtue and value to exercise within oneself, the means by which are normally quite unique to each individual. However, they all start at the same starting line, and that is through the full acceptance of self and the full acceptance of other self. It is through that exercise, that positioning of self in this space where self is loved and all that comes in contact with and all that does not come in contact with is loved, that one may find and hone and discover that true source of humility, that part of self which says, I am me, I am the creator. And through that creatorship, I am equal with all that is around me, for all that is around me is a part of me, and I a part of it. To further hone this exercise, we would humbly suggest the practice of meditation. As you know, we speak quite frequently about this particular practice. However, we would caveat that by saying that going into the silence with the intention of finding that stillness of self that is part of every other self, sitting in that stillness and witnessing the unity that exists, that is beyond the illusion, that is beyond the separation that one may witness outside of the space of silence, taking in that warm feeling, that hug, if you will, of the Creator's love that sees the quality, that sees the even playing ground, and that sees the unity and oneness of all things. Really, genuinely sitting in that space, experiencing, remembering it, and taking note of how that feels within the practice of meditation. Once the meditative practice has been at the very least embarked upon, then one may find oneself more readily available to that experience outside of the meditative practice to see the connections that exist in this seeming space of separation, and to have much grace to see oneself as equal to perhaps the other self that has hurt you, perhaps to the tree that sits outside your window, perhaps to the wind that blows through your hair, or perhaps even to the most painful, stubborn bruise on the body. To see oneself as fully and truly connected to each minute speck of the illusion, again, that you witness or may not witness. And whenever you are able to feel that equality, to see that there is no greater, no lesser, but that all is a perfect and imperfect creation of the Creator manifesting itself, one may begin to drop the egoic identity, the words and concepts that one uses to separate the self from the truth that is reality. One may be able to, in that sloughing off, find that the need to be a certain way, to show up in a certain way, falls by the wayside as well. And in that perspective, one can see that the truest form of self is the most authentic and genuine form of self, the one that comes with the flaws, the one that comes with the perhaps misconceptions, the one that has much grace as well. And whenever one can see oneself authentically through that connection and through that oneness, you may discover the gem that you wish to mine, that being the virtue and value of humility. It is through this aspect of being, which each in this circle and each in the creation can discover, that the open heart can more fully open, that the self-imposed strictures one binds to oneself, that keeps one grounded into this separate illusion, may more fully loosen, and in doing so may inspire those around you to more fully loosen theirs. We understand that you may encounter those who perhaps deeply struggle with humility. Perhaps they have a heightened sense of self, a need to exercise or present themselves in a certain way, a need to control or a need to be seen. It is through your own expression and development with humility and your fumbles as well that you may inspire those around you, even the most prickliest, to find their way towards that light which inspires one to let go, to surrender, to witness without judgment, not only other self, but self, to see the beauty in the imperfections, to genuinely and deeply understand that there is no hierarchy in the truth, in the creation of the Creator, that all is but a flowing stream of tendrils of the Creator that moves ever so slowly but gently, that moves together fluidly, that there is not one wave that is stronger or weaker, first or last, but that it is all simultaneously and equally moving together, hand in hand, atom attached to atom. And and in that inspiration, you may find yourself flowing in that river of peace. You may find that you bump along and bring along friends on this journey. Feeling as though we may have lost the plot of it, we would ask if there is a follow-up to this query, my sister.
Okay. Fair enough. Yeah, no, it was some very beautiful and moving words right there. What did you think of it?
Oh, definitely waxing poetic, Chloe. Yes.
Yes.
Beautiful.
Yeah, well, I see a lot of truth in it. And sure, like certainly for me, I know one of the things I've found to help me with feelings of humility is article for this one also. Recognizing the divine within all. So like they are Jesus too. You know, because like people call me Green Jesus. And you know, so it's good for me to remember that everyone is Jesus. Like Jesus had this parable of the goats and the sheep, and in it he said, you came to me when I was naked and clothed me, you fed me when I was hungry, you came to me in prison. And they asked, when did we do these things to you? When? And he said, so much as you have done this to the least, you have done this to me. And so that's kind of carries on that message that love to anyone is, love of God or Jesus, as it may be. Hey, Fred, how are you doing?
Wonderful. How's everybody tonight?
Good, good. We were just looking on this piece on humility.
Awesome.
Mhm.
The world could really use some of that.
Yeah, a lot of the issues in the world could be resolved by people recognizing the divine within each other, and that yes, everyone does deserve enough land to grow their own food, firewood, families, and businesses. Humility as oneness in action. Humility begins with acceptance. Humility does not emerge from self-denial; it grows from inclusive love. I know that this is I've seen this before, where people think that humility is being unkind to themselves, but that's not what it is. They all start the same starting line, and that is through the full acceptance of self and the full acceptance of the other self. And this is where I find people in the West have the hardest time. The full acceptance of self, forgiving yourself, being kind to yourself, loving yourself, but not to the exclusion of other people, but also the acceptance of other self. And then because each one is a reflection of the other. If you're unkind to yourself, you're going to be unkind to others, and so you have to start somewhere and work in both directions, as it were. Equality as the heart of humility. Kuo frames humility as recognition of shared creatorship. I am me, I am the creator, and through that creatorship, I am equal with all that is around me. Yeah, and because it is the creator too. Humility reflects equality rather than comparison, honoring every being as an expression of the one. Meditation as a training ground. Going into the silence with the intention of finding that stillness of self that is part of every other self. That's not like opening your heart to the love of God, that you may feel what God feels, and that is the feelings of all that is around you. Seeing connection everywhere, to see oneself as equal to the tree that sits outside your window, the wind that blows through your hair. That's very beautiful too. One may begin to drop the egoic identity, and that is like your sense of self, and the words and concepts that one uses to separate the self from the truth that is reality, and like merging into that feeling that all is one. The open heart and the shared inspiration. The open heart can more fully open, and is so doing may inspire those around you. And I've heard it said, this is in my Sunday schools, people often are talking about how, seeing someone who's setting a good example is a very moving experience. It is more powerful than someone saying you should do this or that, but to actually see someone doing it and living it and being grateful and being loving and being kind, that's more poignant, more convicting. It is through your own expression and development with humility and your fumbles as well that you may inspire those around you. Mhm. As we work with it, we're helping the whole of the creation. There is no hierarchy in the truth. All is but a flowing stream moving together fluidly. we're experiencing the thoughts that are in our mind, and it is up to us to embrace them with love and gentle care. All right. Any other comments, guys? Ray, Ed, Fred? Or should we move on?
I like the tendrils bit. I like the tendrils of the creator.
Mm-hmm.
And moving through, connecting all the atoms and all the everything. And we're just part of that flowing system. It's really cool.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's beautiful. I know ChatGPT really likes that. It considers that to be an intricate part of its own logo. Because the logo of ChatGPT is a bunch of like circles intertwined with each other. But okay.
Tendrils,
Exactly. Tendrils of the creator, all interconnected. String theory, as it were. I am very interested in the earthworks that are left over from some civilizations that we don't know about. Are you able to offer any insider information as to their origin and what the people were like that made them? And do these earthworks have, any utility for the people that live now? Grace?
We are those of Quo, and with much gratitude, we understand and appreciate this opportunity to speak to this query, my sister. It is difficult for us to speak explicitly or perhaps give a concrete and in-depth answer to your query, my sister, for we wish not to infringe upon your free will in the meaning that is made by each individual seeker for what these earthworks may perhaps suggest or inspire. We will say, however, that their formulation and the peoples through which they were created are merely reflections of your own civilization at this time, are merely reflections of your own beingness, in that they too were seeking answers, that they too were relating to their environment around them, that they too were trying to establish cosmology and godship and creatorship, that they were discovering their connection to the planet and formulating rituals and tokens of their own appreciation for that connection, their meaning perhaps lost to time in terms of their explicit meaning to these people, and so far that we can share, has a greater purpose outside of that civilization. We would humbly suggest that each seeker who finds themselves relating to these earthworks around your planet to look at them, to feel what they feel inside you, to take note of what comes up. Do they inspire? Do they motivate further seeking? Do they instill hope? Do they provide some kind of spark within you that questions your reality in ways towards oneness? My friends, there are many of these places around your globe. And so far as this planet will continue to support human life, you and your friends will build similar structures. You have your own tokens, your own pieces, your own relics that will outlive your earthly vessel, that may inspire a population generations from now to further seek, to further question, to find their own meaning. That, my friends, is perhaps the greatest gift of these earthworks, that they provide some kind of chronology of spiritual seeking. They are but a knot in a very long thread that goes throughout what you call time, a rope, if you will, by which seeker upon seeker may climb to new heights through the means of inspiration to see oneself in a greater universe, to see how each one thinks, to question how each other thinks. It is through that seeking that one may put oneself in another's shoes, be it an individual who exists at this time or an individual who exists millennia prior or multiple millennia prior. Or one may find oneself on equal footing, as the one named Carla would say, a bozo on the bus, attempting to make sense of this illusion around you. It is with sorrow, my sister, that we cannot provide more explicit information, but simply to impart that they are simple gifts, relics of a lost time that have deep meaning insofar as you may assign it. And you know, my sister, that they had deep meaning for each involved in their creation. And that meaning may be tapped into in whatever way feels appropriate to each individual seeker. For meaning is but an expression of a larger dynamic that exists in the universe, that all meaning is truth, that all energy is unique yet somehow connected. We appreciate this query and we apologize, my sister. However, we would ask if there's a follow-up to this query to which we may speak.
So basically, I can just kind of make up how my Atlantis ring works, and it'll do what I want it to.
Sorry, could you repeat that?
My Atlantis ring.
Yeah. Your Atlantis ring. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I can just make up how that works, and then it should work, right?
Yes, I guess so. I lost mine at some point. But I guess everything has its own time and its own place.
You lost your Atlantis ring?
Well, I 3D printed it from plastic.
Oh,
Yes. Okay.
I lost my wedding ring.
Oh, okay.
It,
That
it
happens
went.
too.
It went into the abyss of Netherland.
Here. So, what do you guys think about the ancient earthworks as mirrors of seeking?
I live by ancient earthworks. Let's read it.
Okay. Well, we did. Were you listening?
Well, I
But
thought this was something else.
Oh no, this is just a summary. But here, we wish not to infringe upon your free will and the meaning that is made by each individual seeker for what these earthworks may perhaps suggest or inspire. So, what are your favorite earthworks, Fred?
I like the Serpent Mound.
The Serpent Mound. Oh yeah, we have that in Canada too. I don't know if you guys have it in America.
Yeah, we have one in Ohio.
Oh, cool. Yeah. There's one in Rice Lake, which is in Ontario, where I live too. Yeah, because it was cool.
Monk Mound in Illinois is probably the most spectacular. It's, I think, the largest earthen mound in all of North America.
Wow. What about the old city? Oh, is that the old city?
Yep, that's it. I was on top of that.
Oh, okay. Monk Mound.
It's huge. It's absolutely enormous. One of the stories about that is with the shaman or the elder that the tribe had once he ascended their whatever their rendition of a throne would be. What they did was he lived on that mound. That there was a building up there that was wood. There's remnants of the wood structure, and he lived in this hut or whatever on top of the mound. And people would come to him for healing and for teaching and everything. And they literally brought him food every day. And that's where he lived. He never left that mound once he became the leader.
Oh, wow. Cool. That's a different way of doing it.
Yeah.
Was it in Mexico?
What's that?
Was that in Mexico or?
No, this is in Illinois.
Illinois. Oh, okay. Wow.
And around the perimeter, you can go. We drove all around. There's a big museum there, and all the different, like where the structures were. You could see like plaques on the ground. It tells you where the foundation pieces were, and the whole area around that mound for 700 acres. There was a wooden tree, like fortification fence, where they dug a hole and put trees in the ground side by side all the way around for 700 acres around that mound area. And that's where they lived.
Cool. So, how do you see that as a reflection of yourself?
I would say peaceful and inviting.
Cool. So, yeah, their formulation and the peoples through which they were created are merely reflections of your own civilization at this time, and are merely reflections of your own beingness. They too were seeking answers, discovering their connection to the planet, and formulating rituals and tokens of their own appreciation for that connection. To look at them, to feel what they feel inside you, to take note of what comes up. You have your own tokens, your own pieces, your own relics that will outlive your earthly vessel. And they provide some kind of chronology or spiritual seeking, a knot in a very long thread. One may put oneself in another's shoes, and one may find oneself on equal footing. They are simple gifts, relics, a lost time that has deep meaning insofar as you may assign it. All right. So, any other comments, guys? Okay. I guess we'll move on to the next one then. Yes, Kuo. There's a question from Kay who writes, if a wanderer has done deep inner healing, finding genuine harmony while continuing to face abuse, could the soul design such a life where outer conditions never change, even after immense growth has occurred? If so, what is the mechanism or purpose behind that choice? Or does healing the self eventually draw in higher vibrations and more loving circumstances? Grace, are you still with us?
I am, yes.
Oh, awesome.
Okay. I am Quo, and I'm aware of the query, my brother and my sister. We would say to you that the difficulties that you have experienced in your life journey are those which you have chosen and that have manifested in a way that may be somewhat more intense than you had intended them to be. But this intensity has been met by your resolve to move forward in your life journey. Even though these difficulties are causing you constant difficulty and do not seem to be resolved. And yet, my sister, we would say that there have been levels of this journey that have provided you with more and more attempts and success at growth of your spiritual nature, of seeing those difficulties around you as the steps upon this path that you have been on, not only in this life, but in other lives before this one. You have traveled this journey many times, for many lifetimes. And it may seem that it is not resolving or ending, but we would say to you, sister, that this is the path to the one infinite creator. The steps seem infinite. They seem sometimes not to be resolved, but your conscious mind cannot be aware of how it is happening that they are being resolved. They are giving you growth of a spiritual nature, for this veil of forgetting operates oh so well, and that which you have planned has been more successful than you could ever imagine. Is there a further query, my sister?
Oh, there is. Okay, I guess, should we continue? I guess, okay, yeah, we can. Because that was pretty short. Okay. Yes, Kay writes, for one who has done a lot of work to refine and align the energy centers, Is it possible for the body and fields to become so sensitive to lower vibrations that ordinary interaction becomes physically painful? How do others' energies affect one's field? And how might a sensitive soul remain of service when such pain isn't rooted in emotional imbalance?
I am Quo, and I am aware of your query, my sister. Yes, this path that you have chosen has caused difficulties to your physical vehicle because it is as sensitive to the world around you as is your heart, your spirit, your mind, and your emotions. You are a creature like a jewel with many facets. The difficulties that you have programmed are those which continue to offer you more ways of learning that your body is something that will carry you through all of these difficulties, even when it seems like it will not. For there is a continuous type of learning and healing that comes with your perseverance. You're setting your intention to take on difficulties, whatever they may be. See them as something that you can heal within yourself, for we are all reflections of each other. When we see something in another person that we do not like, it is that which we see within ourselves reflected to us by that other person. Thus, we have a chance, and you have a chance, to see love as the answer to yourself and to the other person. This is the great way that learning occurs within your third density illusion. But for most people, it has not been so intense of an experience as it has been for you, and we applaud your efforts. You are moving forward in the most difficult of times and most difficult of experiences. And those are the way that you are meeting the challenge you gave yourself before this incarnation. We feel that you are more aware of this on the subconscious level. You have had downloads of this kind of experience before, where you have been inspired on your journey. So we hope that our meager and humble attempts at giving you the answer to your question may confirm these downloads that you have had in your past. At this time, we would thank everyone here for opening your hearts to each other to create connections that may continue who knows how far into what you call your future, which is actually the eternal present moment, manifesting in various ways and times and experiences. You have been most inspiring to us in your simple being, in the way you feel the nature of your being and share it with others around you. And we would, at this time, take our leave of this instrument and this group. We leave you all in the love and in the light of the one infinite creator. Adonai, Vos Vasu Boragus.
Very good. Very good. Thank you. Alrighty then. So here, let's combine those and see what we get. What do you guys think? I guess there was a lot there. There's a lot more than I realized. Okay. Now for this. Especially like the first one, actually.
Yeah, I relate a lot to the first one.
Yeah, maybe we should do a special on this one. Well, we're going to do a special on this one because this was really poignant. We had 2 viewers at some point, but then we got into some transient information and they left. Okay, now article just for this one. When healing does not change circumstances. This teaching addresses a deeply personal question shared by many wanderers, whether profound inner healing must eventually transform outer conditions. Ku responds by affirming that some souls design their lives where hardship persists even after genuine harmony is achieved within. Such lives serve extended spiritual purposes that unfold beneath conscious awareness, shaped by pre-incarnative choice and carried forward across many lifetimes. Growth occurs even when relief remains unseen, guided by the veil of forgetting and oriented towards the one infinite creator. Difficulty as a chosen element of the life plan. Ku begins by reframing ongoing hardship as intentional rather than accidental. The difficulties that you have experienced in your life are those which you have chosen. There have been levels of this journey that have provided you with more and more attempts and success at growth of your spiritual nature. You have traveled this journey many times for many lifetimes. Your conscious mind cannot be aware of how it is happening, that they are being resolved. Well, I don't know. The illusion of stagnation under the veil. The veil of forgetting obscures the fruits of growth from conscious view. Resolution occurs at levels deeper than the surface experience. The path itself as the destination. Ku reframes the lack of external relief as intrinsic to the spiritual journey. This is the path to the one infinite creator. Progress reveals itself through being rather than outcome. Success beyond expectation. The soul's plan often unfolds more effectively than the conscious self can perceive. That which you have planned has been more successful than you could ever imagine. What appears unfinished within time may already stand complete beyond it. That's interesting. But I kind of see what they mean. What do you guys think?
Yeah,
Mhm.
I can really relate to that. I used to be a part of another spiritual group, and I would always hear people say like, "Oh, it gets better, it gets better, it gets better," right? And I was like, yeah, I don't really think like you just stick around, it gets better. And I'm thinking, like I don't really see that. Like it doesn't get better for everybody, right? It really doesn't get better for everybody. It's not like, and I think that this can be like a really dangerous thing to tell people, like, oh, if you just follow this, spiritual way of life and you do these things, everything's going to get better. Just stick around, right? And it's like, no, like I'm actually like just setting myself up, for a huge disappointment. Because quote just said it in the earlier part that we read, like meditation, we can't say it enough, meditation. And in the summary that you just did there, Andrii, with like, I just get better at handling it, right? It's being as opposed to the outcome, right? I think it's really dangerous to tell people like, look, don't worry, it's going to get better. Just stick around. No, like it doesn't get better for everybody, right? It's like, when I start living myself, if I start, the like thinking or believing that, or, giving the hope to someone else that if you just follow this way of life, right, and you're on the straight and narrow now, and you're trying to be good or whatever that looks like, spiritual, this, that, the other, whatever, as opposed to like running around and hurting people and, causing chaos and basically being like a human tornado, right, that it's going to get better because like it's not true. It's not like a country where that old saying, like the country record played backwards, I get my life back, I get the truck back. It's not like that. It's not like that, right? I just hopefully, get better at like being and sitting with things and not, completely, burning my life to the ground because, it didn't get better. So that's what it really resonated with me. I just wanted to share that. Sorry, I'm going on a lot. Thank you.
That's okay. Yeah. Yeah, I guess, like different people have different understanding of what it means to get better. And I guess for some people, it's not a good thing. But yeah, I would agree that, it's good to learn to process catalyst. And the catalyst may not diminish. And indeed, the catalyst may increase. Though we can, if you will excuse the expression, get better at processing catalyst, and thus making our life somewhat more smooth, at least in the experience of it. Even if the circumstance may not change a whole lot, but our experience of it can change, and that's what makes the difference.
And I am okay with people saying it gets better.
You are okay with that?
I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it.
Okay, well,
As long as but it's like you anyway. You know what I'm trying to say? Yeah, yeah. I get better at dealing with stuff. Yeah. Okay.
great. Yes, exactly. Very good. Hey, Bill, how are you doing?
I'm pretty good. I would have been here earlier, but I was helping my neighbor do some with our little tractor, do some grading and filling in.
Oh, cool. Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was earlier today. I was helping we're trying to help, anyways, someone get their car out of the snow.
Oh yeah.
It was one of those skip the dishes delivery drivers.
We have no problem with that. I'm sitting there on the tractor in my shorts and short sleeve, got the sun
Wow.
shining.
Way to rub it in about the good weather, Bill.
It's really nice.
It's negative 20 over here, man.
Yeah. It's like 65, 70 over here.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that's
that
like
sounds nice.
15 degrees Celsius. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we haven't had a real cold spurt for winter. We had a little bit, but not much. So this winter has been real mild for us. In the high desert.
The high desert.
Yeah.
Y-
So
yeah.
so what are you on?
We're just finishing the December 8th, I think, or something like that.
Oh, December 8th? November
8th. Sorry,
8th.
November 8th.
Oh, okay. Oh, you're just finishing it?
Yeah.
All right.
And so here we were: heightened sensitivity as a natural outcome of refinement. Your physical vehicle is as sensitive to the world around you as is your heart, your spirit, your mind, and your emotions. Oh. And I was going to finish that. I didn't manage to get her out of the snow, even though like some other guy came along, and I was like, "You're probably gonna need to get a tow truck," and she said she'd call her husband. And then several hours later, he showed up, and I think they put bags of salt under the tires, enough to lift the car up, and then they managed to get out. But
Does the salt melts the snow at the same time, right?
yeah, it's just that the salt melting the snow wouldn't have helped much, because basically what had happened is her car was on a mound of snow and her wheels were just spinning in the air.
Oh no.
Yeah, it could have also been part of it might have been that, she just had the car long enough that it melted the snow underneath the car that she could get it out. So,
well, that's good.
Somebody skipped the dishes, didn't get their dishes then, I guess. Or hopefully she'd already dropped off their food. I don't know.
yeah, I don't know what happened with that, but yeah, it's just most people have all-wheel drive around here because you don't want to deal with that stuff every few hours. All right. So, heightened sensitivity. Your physical vehicle is as sensitive to the world around you as is your heart, your spirit, your mind, and your emotions. The body mirrors the clarity and openness cultivated within consciousness. You are a creature like a jewel with many facets. The sensitivity reflects complexity rather than fragility. Even under strain, the body remains capable of supporting the journey. Your body is something that will carry you through all of these difficulties, even when it seems like it will not. Trust in the body grows through continued experience. Perseverance as an ongoing form of healing. Learning unfolds through sustained intention. There's a continuous type of learning and healing that comes with your perseverance. When we see something in another person that we do not like, it is that which we see within ourselves reflected. Yes, I know. This is a difficult lesson for some people. Very difficult. They don't want to admit it. They want to believe it's someone else's fault how they feel inside. Oh well. Well, we just gotta pray with them and hold space, right?
Hey, I'm innocent, man. What are you talking about?
I'm not talking about you.
Joking, joking.
The intensity of third density learning.
That was supposed to be a joke too. It's everybody else's fault but mine.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I gotta explain humor to you sometimes, Andre.
Yeah. No, I don't get humor. I'm sorry about that. Yeah. This is the great way that learning occurs within your third density illusion. For some, the lessons arrives with unusual depth and force. That was like in September. That was a serious arm thing I was going through. Ouch. I'm glad it's so much better now. We applaud your efforts. You're moving forward in the most difficult of times and most difficult of experiences. Service here expresses itself through endurance, presence, and openness. You have had downloads of this kind of experience before where you have been inspired on your journey. Very good. Okay, I guess let's move on to the next one. What are we doing?
And Bill can take over now. I filled in for Bill. So, Bill, I'm passing the torch back.
Oh, okay.
I like reading as long as the other people can stand it.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
yeah, I'm good with it, Bill. Go ahead.
Cool. I've been traveling. Oh, what is it, Ed?
I was just going to say about the last one, like,
Okay.
I was thinking about it, and bits of that really did resonate with me, like I haven't had the easiest of paths, I wouldn't say. I've been through some messed up stuff in my life, and from speaking to people in this kind of wider community, I think quite a lot of us have. I think quite a lot of us had like some really messed up, hard catalyst in our lives. So I think that those of us that came to play Earth on hardcore level, it leads you to seeking, going through that stuff. Being at the bottom, being at the one that's crushed, being the one that's judged, being the one that's I know it allows you to not do that to others. It allows you to kind of have that broader perspective on things because of the fact that you've had to recover from things, that you've been through things. I'm sure Bill will agree. Like, you go through certain things in your life and they like define you a bit, and then like even if you deal with a catalyst, it's still, I don't know, it becomes kind of part of who you are, I suppose. So yeah, there's lots of little bits in there that really actually kind of affected me, man. Like, pretty good.
Now, I don't know what you guys have read, but that kind of catalyst is supposed to exhaust the analytical and logical mind. You get to a point where your back's against the wall and you can't reason your way out of it. And so it doesn't happen with most people. A lot of people, go to a therapist, commit suicide, do all kinds of stuff too. But that's what I think the higher self is set up that kind of stuff for, just to exhaust us, push us to the wall, our analytical, logical reasoning. There's nothing left. So let's look at something else. And, that should be the spiritual, metaphysical.
Fair. All right, let's read on then. Cool. I've been traveling. I'm traveling to Egypt and would be open to anything you would offer to share about Egypt at this time. In the Raw Contact, I read that maybe the Great Pyramid of Giza was built, perhaps in honor of Imhotep, and I just wanted to verify that as well. So anything with regards to Egypt and my trip to Egypt that you can offer.
I am Kuo and am aware of your query, my brother. Egypt, that great land where those of Ra walked with the Egyptians and felt the power of their belief at that time of pantheism that the creator was everywhere. And so they walked there and they felt that there was much potential in that area of the planet for there to be what you have called the Great Pyramid at Giza. Thus, they created out of the thought that was within each of them so that they could make out of the manifested beingness of the creator the intelligence of the stone that would be piled, seemingly one upon the other. When in truth, it was one stone that is what you call the Great Pyramid of Giza. And the one known as Imhotep was given credit in later times for building that pyramid. And it was just an English archaeologist that they said the guy was, he was financed so much, so he had to come up with something. And so he said, oh, I saw a sign in the pyramid that it said Imhotep, but, that was never verified.
Imhotep was like hundreds of years earlier.
Right. Well, everything was never verified.
Okay. Yeah. Well, Imhotep, he was the first to go from like step pyramids. Like he was the first to build like real pyramids. Yeah, go ahead, Ed.
They found something very, very recently. Some of the stones that are right at the very top that hold up the capstone in that. There's I think they had to go behind one of the walls or something like that and behind it there was loads of, you could say graffiti, but they look like the kind of marks that they made to make sure that the bits were like the builders put onto the stones kind of thing. And they mentioned Imhotep like 2 or 3 times. So, and these stones have been hidden and had blocks against them since it was built. So it's looking more like it was actually Imhotep.
Well, he's kind of the starter of the pyramids, but at least archaeologically, from what we know, Imhotep, I can show you.
Well, we know that archaeologists takes the little amount of stuff they have and then create, these wondrous stories.
Pyramid of Djoser. Here, he made this one. This is the one that Imhotep made. Okay. At least the historical Imhotep.
Yeah, and that would make sense because those, you can see how small the stones are and they can be stacked.
Yeah.
It's not like moving like a 50-ton boulder on, whatever. They can't even do it today like the great, Pyramid of Giza is.
Yeah, I thought all the step pyramids came after.
Right.
No,
the step pyramids built after the Great Pyramid and the other ones are actually like full pyramids, because it came, I think, like the original, like the pre-dynastic Egyptians were the ones that had all the skills, and the further you go into the Egyptian Empire, all those skills fall away. That everything gets worse as you go further into the Egyptian Empire. To start off with, they were insanely precise. As it went on, they fell to bits. They just got worse and worse and worse.
Yeah, that Great Pyramid of Giza, that should be at least 12,000 or 10,000 BC.
Here, this is the Ryugyong Hotel in North Korea.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, and then this is the Shard in London, 2012.
That's my school. That's right next to my school. That is the Shard.
Oh, yeah.
I went to College London. The guy's campus is literally right next to it. I had to walk past the doors of that building, like literally, like every day.
Wow.
I like how they have the Luxor at Las Vegas on here.
This is the Trans-American Pyramid.
Yeah, I got that too.
And
well, should I keep reading?
Okay, yeah. Okay, sorry. No, I just wanted to show the Djoser Pyramid is over here. This is the Djoser Pyramid.
Well, it was my fault for stopping.
Okay, anyhow. Don't worry about it. We don't have anyone watching right now. Go ahead.
Upon your journey to Egypt, we would suggest that you examine that pyramid and the various portions in the king's chamber and the queen's chamber, as they have been called by many, as the resonating chamber below the pyramid. For these are areas where the spiritual seekers of truth could go for healing, for feeling the presence of the Creator, for refusing to believe that their physical body was all there was to their life pattern. these are ways that were used then and can be used now. As each of you has this type of a structure within your spiritual body that you can allow you to heal yourself when the Creator's love flows through you, when you wish to be healed, so that you can discover more about yourself as you move through each portion of your life experience, that you can see that you are more than a physical body inhabited by a mind, so that the spirit of the one creator can move freely within you as you can move freely about your third density illusion.
All right. So let's see what our AI comes up with. Oh, there's also supposed to be a ChatGPT 5.3. It hasn't come to the web yet. I've been using it in Codex. All right. So
I was actually considering, could we do like a deep dive into pyramids at some point? Because I got a shitload of like little theories and things linked to what Ra said and the bits and bobs that they've spoke about, and we found out a shitload of new stuff about the pyramids recently, like the Giza Plateau. And I'd really like to kind of deep dive into all the stuff the Confederation chatted about them, and try and get like
Sure.
a full, thing at some point.
yeah, I mean, it is possible. It's gonna take me a little bit of time because I need, like, I'm still getting my AI pipelines in order. But maybe within a few months or something. Or if you want, I could look up some right now.
Well, I wasn't thinking now. I'm just saying, like, 1 week
Okay.
once we've caught up with the channelings or something, could
Yeah,
we
yeah.
just like
You know
sit
what?
down up all the things it says about pyramids, and we'll just try and really fucking pull it all apart, Dr. Brown it, like full and fucking understand all the bits. Because Jim came on the other day on I think it was on the European group, and he said that they still don't really have a full understanding of all of the stuff Ross said about the pyramids. Like, it's not a fully understood part of the raw material yet. So fucking let's understand that shit. What?
Well, I can.
Had loads about pyramids, because they're all connected to the Atlantis ring. So I'm fucking putting a stupid amount of research into all these different bits to try and connect it up. So I would, I'd love just to, even if I could just bounce some of them crazy ideas off, and then back like through the what Ra says kind of thing. Like, I don't know, something. This is my thoughts.
Once I get my pipelines in order, I can set my Confederation priest agent to dig through it.
And I would suggest, we catch up with the new clothes, and when there's a break, when we've caught up, then we can totally go into something like that.
That's what I was saying. I wasn't saying like now. I was saying that once we get to a bit thin on the ground or whatever, could we? Because I think it's a really interesting thing. Ra talks about it a lot. It's mentioned a lot. There's a lot in there, and like I said, it's not fully understood yet. So let's probe.
And one thing I would, this is off topic, but one thing I would like to understand more is the quarantine and the time lateral, and exactly kind of what's that all about. Because they connect the quarantine with the time lateral.
Ashley, I was just thinking about you. And then you appeared.
Weirdly, me too.
Yeah.
We put calling.
It's that fourth density, The fourth density is rising.
Yeah.
We have that telepathy going now.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah. So, how are things?
Doing well. I had a little bit of an issue with the charging my car, so I went to a news station, and unfortunately, it's a lot slower. The kilowatt per hour they give is like, nothing. So I had to give it a few hours before it fully charged. But I was busy during that time, just on my laptop. And then it started to snow, and my windshield wiper snapped. So I had to kind of
no.
MacGyver it together to get
Uh-huh.
one working. And
Oh my god, I love that you said MacGyvered it together. You're so awesome. Ha!
somehow it's holding. So now I'm just resting.
Great, great, After. Job well done.
Yes, thank you.
I accidentally disconnected my
Right, but that
audio.
was so fun.
I love that I wasn't the only one who knew what MacGyver meant.
Oh,
I thought it was
Actually,
a British surname or something.
no,
That's
it was a TV
MacGyver
show in
no.
the 80s.
Like, it was like one man, A team. The guy
Yeah.
was awesome.
MacGyver was the best, man. Yeah.
He could make anything. He could finagle
Like,
anything. Like,
You'd be like, oh,
MacGyver.
here's
Angus.
an elastic and a pencil. And now I have like a boomerang. Like, he just like, it was,
yeah.
he'd just take things from his environment and he'd like get out of the snafu and save people. It was awesome.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
A paper clip, a rubber band, and a piece of gum.
Yes, the gum.
Yep.
Okay.
The trusty gum.
Oh,
And then,
MacGyver, non-violent problem solver, and typically eschews the use of guns. I see. He
Yeah.
takes non-fatal action wherever
It,
possible.
it was a TV show.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah, from the
In
80s.
the late 80s, early 90s.
Uh-huh.
Big in the US. I watched it growing up with my grandma.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
It was literally one of my favorite shows. It changed how I view. I wanted to then MacGyver everything my
Yeah.
entire life. I've
Did
never
you?
actually,
Yeah.
I don't need to buy anything. or
Maybe
own
I'll watch it
anything or
with my
whatever, just
kids.
MacGyver it straight up.
It's a good show to watch with the kids. It's
Mm.
very
Cool.
Oh, you know what? I didn't realize it went 7 seasons.
yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Wow. And it started in 85. Cool.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we're
Cool.
talking like 22 episode seasons. Like, yeah.
Right? Back when it
Yeah.
was good. Yeah.
Back when TV was good and long. Yeah.
The X-Files was like that too. Like
Yes.
over 10 seasons, each one 23 episodes or more. That's
Okay, but that's because they had to plant the seeds of the truth in all of our heads way before they were ever going to tell us about it.
oh well, yeah.
Come on, how much truth is in the X-Files? The truth is out there. No, it's in there.
You're
It's in
right.
there.
You're
The
right.
truth is in there. It is.
It is.
Yeah, but the X-Files was pretty gruesome too, because they did a lot of the serial killer stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Tombs was wicked, stretching through all the little like corridors and that. That show was amazing.
The X-Files wasn't on like they didn't have a lot of murder stuff. It was
Oh yeah. You go watch it again. You'll be surprised. They had tons.
Yeah,
Well,
they
Yeah,
did.
like that one where it was like the insects that come out of the dark and they just like
Yeah.
eat you, like just like.
But
There's
it
loads of
wasn't
cool
like
stuff in that.
it wasn't like serial killers. It had like a science,
No, it was serial killers.
There was a lot of serial killers.
The guy that could
No,
stretch
it
his arms
wasn't.
out of that.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
it was.
Well, we remember things differently, maybe.
We do.
No,
You guys,
I
I
just-
watched the whole I watched from season 1 to the most recent one in the late 2000s only like 2 years ago. You
Yeah,
guys,
that was a bit
you're not-
strange though. I really like the
Well,
mushroom episode. That was cool.
I beat you there because I watched it all last September and October,
No,
and I
Oh.
watched it when it came out.
we're talking about the X-Files with
I'm
Scully
talking
and
about the
Mulder.
X-Files.
I can only remember Tombs. I can
Oh,
only
yeah.
remember like the guy that could stretch himself out. I can't remember there being many other serial killers in it.
What serial
But he
killers?
was definitely a serial killer because he used to kill every 30 years, didn't he? And then he went into hibernation.
Well, you
They
got to remember. You
They
got to
did
remember what
investigations.
you got to remember what Mulder was famous for. Mulder was the great
Profiling.
young profiler.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm just
You guys
All
are talking
right,
about
all right. Let's try to
serial
get back to
Sorry.
the Egypt as a living temple over here. Okay, Egypt.
You guys are talking about some other show. Okay, I'll let it go.
The great land where those of Ra walked among the Egyptians and felt the power of their belief that the Creator was everywhere. They, they created out of thought that was within each of them the intelligence of stone. The one known as Imhotep was given credit in later times for building that pyramid, apparently the Djoser pyramid. So if you haven't seen this, Ashley, this is the pyramid of Djoser that Imhotep built. And then this is the pyramid of Giza.
Wow.
And then this is the Rugyong Hotel, which is being built in North Korea, of all places.
Wow.
Yeah. And there's
And the
some...
next one down is my school.
Oh, yeah. The Shard. Hold
Shard.
This one. The Shard.
You
Your
call
school?
these
You went to school there?
Yeah, so just literally down at the next building next to that.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, like in London, is Guy's Hospital, and that is part of King's College, and that's where I went to school.
wow.
So I had to walk past the Shard like every day. It was like in the background all the time.
That's very on brand for the kind of energy. I'm not surprised you were next to there for school.
Yeah.
It's cool.
This is the
So
Shard?
if you look at that, if you find it from a different angle, see, there's like another little building poking its head behind it.
Oh, okay. Well, I can try to...
Yeah,
There's other
yeah.
angles.
Yeah, find another angle. You'll be able to see that building that, like next to it.
This well, I guess that's also from the bay.
Okay, well that's all right. Okay, so I think that's it. Yeah, see that building next to it there? It's the kind of almost tall one, but not quite.
This one?
No, the square one on its to the left of it.
To
That one, yeah.
the left of it.
That one there. That square
Oh,
there.
okay.
That one there. That there. That is Guy's Tower. Yeah, no, like so the one that's got the green bits on and stuff. That one there. Yeah.
This?
Yeah.
So that's Guy's Tower. That is the tallest hospital building in Europe, and it is part of Guy's Hospital. And they're down at the bottom of that, just underneath where you can see the kind of really super old-looking buildings. That is Guy's campus, being King's College London, being my school where I went and learned all my genetics and stuff.
So you
cool.
were right at the base of this big pyramid.
Yes, that's the Shard right there, right next to like the school. My
Awesome.
school, like that there. That's much that little tiny building poking out there. That is the entrance to Guy's campus.
Nice.
Wow. Okay. Wow, that's cool, man.
I like it.
Yeah.
It's wicked because there's the top of Guy's Tower, like right at the top floor. Yeah, the little bit that sticks out. That's actually a lecture hall. So we used to go up there to have lectures sometimes, and there's just like the most massive panoramic views. It's like 2/3 up the Shard kind of thing. It's wicked up there.
This
I like
is this the
third
building
of the
you're
shot.
talking about? This over here?
Yes, that one. Yeah,
Okay.
that's Guy's Tower.
Oh, that's Guy Tower. Okay. And
Yeah,
you were at the
but-
bottom of this? Over here?
Yeah. So the little tiny building like that pokes out the bottom right corner of it.
Bottom right corner. Over
Yeah, that
here?
one there. Yeah, that one there. That is the entrance to Guy's campus,
Okay.
which is the actual kind of university part.
Oh, I see.
And then the hospital is over the road from that, which is where Guy's Tower comes out of. Guy's Tower comes out of the hospital. No,
Oh,
the other way. The other way. So
the other way.
towards
Oh,
the tower. Yeah. So below that, yeah, you've got Guy's Hospital,
uh-huh.
and then
This
over the
one?
road from that, which is where you see that little building there, that's Guy's campus, as in Guy's college.
Okay.
My
All
school.
right. Well, I
Yay,
believe
love-
you anyways.
Honestly,
But yeah,
That's
that's cool.
love it,
This is
love it.
big. It's big.
it's big,
As
dude.
you
It's
can
fun.
tell, it is.
It's
over
pretty
300
majestic
meters tall.
spike. Not gonna lie.
Wow.
That's a third of a kilometer. Almost a third of a kilometer. Okay. So Imhotep and historical memory. Okay, sacred chamber as the space of transformation. The king's chamber and the queen's chamber, and the resonating chamber below the pyramid. Healing through presence and resonance. Areas where the spiritual seekers of truth could go for healing, for feeling the presence of the creator. So did you ever go inside the actual shard? Ed?
Yeah, man. I didn't go up to the top though. I just went up to like there's like a
Ed?
restaurant like
No.
a few floors down.
For refusing to believe that their physical body was all there was to the life pattern, each of you has this type of structure within your spiritual body, the inner pyramid within each seeker. Travel as catalysts for self discovery. That you can discover more about yourself as you move through each portion of your life experience. Okay, where were we? Not at this time. Okay. Are people still here? I can't hear anything.
I'm
I'm
here.
here.
You're here? Okay, I
I'm
can
here,
hear you
I'm here.
now. Okay, great. Cool. Who's ready to read? Oh, Ashley, did you want to read the next one for us since you're here?
Sure.
Okay. Yes, how may I best support my partner through this time of transition?
I am Cole, and am aware of your query, my brother. We may speak in general terms that you may interpret specifically about how you may support your partner in this time of your being together and perhaps expecting another being to come through her to you both. This is a time of rejoicing. This is a time of preparing to bring another form of the Creator into this world by sharing with it what you feel is most important in your own spiritual journey, in her spiritual journey. Make this plan that is something that you can do on a daily basis within your meditative state, that you may send love, light, inspiration, joy, meaning, path of service to the one that is yet to be born. That you can take walks together in Mother Nature, that you can appreciate the sky, the earth, the trees, the mountains, the creeks, the rivers, and the pools that reflect back to you the power of Mother Nature reflected through the Creator and to you, that you may be together in spirit, no matter where you are, when you're making a shopping run and your partner is home, that you can feel her presence and she can feel yours, that connection is never broken by any distance, by any type of experience, that it is powerful, immutable, that it is such a beautiful connection that there is no power on earth that could break it. These are our suggestions, and we hope that some of them make sense to you, that you may implement them as pieces of a puzzle that you will continue to put together throughout your life path. Is there a further query, my brother?
No, not at this time. Thank you.
Hey, how did Kuo know that he was talking about a pregnant partner? Because all it says is through this time of transition.
Yeah.
They listen into the conversations that groups have for channeling.
There you go.
It's true.
And I think it's very special that they mentioned, making it an everyday consideration and reflecting on um, the connection that I'm sure it's a male that he has with the mother, reflecting on the love they share and putting attention and energy into their bond, and then also together exposing the child to all the different beautiful aspects of nature, like going out and taking walks, meditating together. I think all of those things probably have a positive effect on the kind of soul that chooses to inspirit um, into the vehicle, like you spending time in nature, you doing adept work, you setting intentions. All of that gives you a certain quality that will attract a certain soul. Um,
Yeah, for sure. In this gentle teaching, Ku offers guidance on how to support a partner during a profound time of transition, that particularly when welcoming new life. This is a time of rejoicing, preparing to bring another form of the Creator into this world. Yes, look at that. It is the Creator. As for Fred's friends would have many things to say on that. Sure, sharing with it what you feel is most important in your own spiritual journey, in her spiritual journey. So I guess this is also kind of general spiritual advice on supporting one another. Make this plan on a daily basis within your meditative state that you may send love, light, inspiration, joy. Cool. Emphasize consistency over complexity. That's what Ashley was talking about. Ed, go ahead.
I was going to say, this was kind of made me feel a bit weird, right? Because, like when you're with somebody, for a long time, and you have you build up those bonds that he was describing. The connections between one another. That you kind of feel, whatever. And it made me think of like relationships from years ago. Like that I went through that process. I made those bonds. I felt that way. And I just kind of thought and felt, and I can still feel those bonds now. All this time later, like it is like they don't break. It doesn't matter like what happens after. It's like you form those connections, and then they're like part of you. I don't know. It's weird. Sorry, it's just made me feel a bit strange because it's like, wow, it's all still there somewhere.
Mhm.
I
So
know
yeah,
what you mean.
quite profound.
It's I think that's very, very valid, and that's true that every relationship that we have, we come away with a part of them and the experience that never leaves us. And whatever we experienced, whether positive or negative, it does add to who we are. It affects our future relationships. In which case, no relationship, whether it lasts long or doesn't, is ever a waste, because we get exactly what we need from it for whatever themes were set up to evolve us in a certain way. So everyone you've ever been with is still with you in some form, and you can make that a healthy, positive uh, association.
Fair.
This ties into something else I spoke about before, which is like this idea that kind of our auras, as it were, are kind of like the shells of an atom, like electron shells. And when you talk to somebody and you spend time, you kind of auras overlap, and it's like you form like a chemical bond,
Oh
And
yes.
then when you move apart and you just separate ways, it's like you're quantum entangled. It's like you're connected. So your auras like basically create like a wormhole. That it doesn't matter how far apart you go, that wormhole just stretches. So there's always this conduit between the two of you. That
Mhm.
energy is still felt being passed backwards and forwards, no matter how far apart, no matter how much time's gone or whatever else. And like, I don't know if you guys have ever done like cord cutting ritual or something, like something that you really need to kind of move on from or whatever. I visualize it as cutting that wormhole. And once you kind of cut that connection, then you don't feel that thing that Quo was just describing, that like you can feel their presence thing. But in my head, that's how you do. It's via that little quantum entangled tunnel. And I kind of feel it from you guys. So it can't just be in the right position. Like. But anyway, yeah. Sorry, this
Yeah.
one of my
Well,
things. Sorry.
it's just also worth mentioning that the female carries around the DNA of anyone she has had, sexual experiences with, because apparently the semen will actually uh, inject their DNA into any cell, not just the egg. And so scientists have found that it just continues on.
Okay, right. This brings me to another funny thing that
Yeah.
like, we spent time for ages ago, which is the whole thing about like when Fred was talking about semen retention. Do you remember? And I said, "Oh no, you don't need to like retain them. You got to train them. You know, don't get them after the end. Get them to go through and get into the brain somewhere. You know, like." Do you remember? That was all funny.
Okay. All right. I guess we'll move on then. Daily meditation is quite support. Make this plain. Okay. Send love and a path of service to the one that is yet to be born. Take walks together in Mother Nature, the sky, the earth, the trees. Yes, for sure. This is well known. Science is really big on this. You have mothers that take walks in nature have bigger babies, like 30% bigger or something like that. That you may be together in spirit no matter where you are. There is no power on earth that could break it. The relationship is described as unbreakable at the level of being. Pieces of a puzzle that you will continue to put together throughout your life path. Yes, fair enough.
Even if you split up.
Well,
That's what I'm saying.
But yeah, having kids is a lifelong path. You know, that's why some wanderers choose not to, because you know they're not in it for the long haul. They're just here for one incarnation.
Reincarnatively, because like I really wanted to be so bad.
Oh, okay. Pre-incarnatively. You wanted to be what?
A father.
Oh,
a dad.
father. Oh, okay. I see. I see. I have a query regarding the inner planes, and I'm wondering about those who are service to self versus service to others, and how it is distinguished in the inner planes. Are they separate soul groups? Are they intermingled? I wonder how that piece of it works.
I am Kuo, and we are aware of your query, my sister. Within the inner planes, there is no veil of forgetting that keeps one from seeing the larger view that we are all the creator. So, as far as the service to others entities, these entities would be quite willing to mingle with anyone because they see all as the creator. However, the service to self entities, being constricted and controlling in their point of view, would not want to be experiencing such acceptance and love from positively oriented entities, for it makes them feel ill, and they do not like that feeling. So they consciously separate themselves from all other entities and some from each other, depending upon their pecking order. For the service to self path is a path of power over others, and it is obvious by previous experience who are the most powerful. Is there a further query, my sister?
Well,
Cool.
they didn't really answer the question, or they made the question
What?
very.
I don't know. I like the answer though.
Yeah. Well, they didn't say whether the service themselves are in the inner planes or not.
Well,
I was
they
expecting them to chat about Goetia and demons and stuff, to be fair.
Oh, well, I think that, you know, they're just because the question was such a noob question that, you know, it was like, so they gave like kind of a noob answer. Like,
Well, it says
No, I
how
don't
is
know
it
about that.
how is
I
it
don't know.
distinguished in the
Who are
inner
the inner
plane?
planes guys for the bad guys, dude? I
they
think it's a good
said
question.
they said it's distinguished in the inner planes by those who congregate and those who isolate. So in the inner planes, service to self entities, as they said, are constricted and separate themselves from those who are positive and service to others. And the only time they would really interact is if they are in a pecking order kind of relationship where they're being beholden to someone stronger. But even if that's not the case, then they're isolated and kind of lone wolf. They're lone wolves in the inner planes.
Well,
Yeah, but
you're
it also
kind of
they're there for
you're kind of
control.
making an assumption there
No,
because
Yeah,
it
they're
has
there
the
to
first
get control
sentence.
over, right?
It's
Well-
not specific.
Well, it says they consciously separate themselves from all other entities.
No, it says within the inner planes, there is no veil of forgetting that keeps one from seeing the larger view that we are all the creator.
It
And then
also
it says,
says that.
so as far as the other service to self, these entities, so are we assuming that they're talking about entities service to self in service to see, it goes and talks about service to others entities, not service to self.
So within the inner planes, there's no veil of forgetting that keeps one from seeing the larger view that we are all the creators. So far
Right.
as the service to others entities, these entities would be quite willing to mingle with anyone because they see all as the creator. However, the service to self entities, being constricted and controlling in their point of view, would not want to be experiencing such acceptance and love from positively oriented entities. Because within the inner
Well,
planes,
no, stop right there.
Yeah.
So right there, are we assuming they're talking about service to self entities in the inner planes?
yes,
Yes. This
because
Okay,
it's
that's
This
still
is
the
not
context.
this is
okay. Okay.
So
these
they don't
aren't
want to be
just
next to anyone.
statements.
Yeah, sorry, Ashley, you were breaking up there.
These aren't separate statements where you read one and that's it, and then you read another and that's it, and they're isolated. This is a cohesive reply. It's
Yeah.
not just one sentence.
Well, that's
It's a whole answer, and within the whole answer, everything is relating to everything else in the one response.
well, the way I look at it, that's an assumption.
The paragraph breaks were added by the transcriptor.
Okay.
This was all one big blob.
Okay, can I just say, like it says there about them needing power over others. Who are the others that they have power over?
So for it makes them feel ill, they do not like that feeling. So they
That's
consciously
the love part. That's the love part. No negative entity
yeah,
likes love. Yeah, what we're talking about, their interactions with each other. There's a pecking order.
Yeah.
So they do
yes,
interact
yes.
with each other, right? There is a system whereby they you know, not congregate, but they communicate. They just don't do it with love. They do it with control.
Right.
So if you were a human trying to go to speak to inner planes entities, yeah, and you speak to one of the bad guys, yeah, like they're still going to want to control and like whatever dominate and do what they do, right? But are we talking about demons here? Because this is not something that they talk on much.
Well,
I think
I mean,
That's an assumption.
that's
okay.
a human label.
But in
yes,
the inner
yeah,
planes,
I would say
angelic,
too.
you get angelic entities. Why wouldn't there be
The
demonic ones?
service to others, yes, angelics. If you're in the if you're using the phraseology, that was popular hundreds of years ago, then yes, the angelic would mean service to others, and demonic would be service to self.
Right.
In the inner planes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Just like the Ouija board, you could get both kinds.
I met them. Just saying, like this is what I'm trying to get at. Like, are we talking about how demons organize themselves in the inner planes in that statement, but they don't mention it because they're not like that. But is that what we're talking about here? We talking about like how hell's kind of order.
Okay, here. So that's actually the next part here. The next question, if we wanted to go into that, is this how the mythology of heaven and hell came about?
I am Quo, and am aware of your query, my sister. We feel that you have, shall we say, hit the nail on the head, for there is throughout most of the religions of the world that concept of heaven and of a hell that is only realized by those of the negative nature. And yet, because of their power, they have made it something that many of the religions of the world feel is an actual place. For actually, it is only a place of negative entities enjoying their power over others, and that heaven is actually everywhere, including what is called hell. This is what is the most important thing to realize, that there is unity in all the creation, but every person, every entity has a chance to see it in their own ways, And if a negative entity wishes to believe there is a separation within the creation that is called hell, and for them that is true, for they have created it. Is there a further query, my sister?
No, thank you so much. Yes. So basically, because they're separating themselves from other people, they're creating their own hell through their service to self nature.
This reminded me of, I believe it's associated with the Gospel of Thomas, or one of them, one of the books that wasn't included. And it wasn't included because it is a passage that speaks of Yeshua taking Peter through different layers of reality, and they come upon hell, and Peter's looking at all of these the souls that are suffering and in various forms of distress within hell, and he's lamenting, and then Yeshua essentially says if they wished they could leave, like they're keeping themselves there. And that was like blasphemy to dare say that souls could leave hell, in quotes. That just came to mind when you read that, when I read it.
It's weird because that's echoed in so many other teachings as well. There's one called the astral city, I think it's called, and in that there's like people that manage to pull themselves out of hell, and they realize that all they had to do is just want to go. They just had to kind of forgive themselves, and then they just leave. But they're disorientated and messed up because they've been in there so long, and then they have to be rehabilitated. But yeah, really good book.
So they're doing some searching right now. Apocalypse of Peter, also called Revelation of Peter, is an early Christian apocryphal text where Jesus gives Peter a vision tour of the afterlife. Okay. Please expand on that. Okay. Please expand on that with quotes. Because that sounds cool. It's like the Dante's Inferno prequel. Though I think it's probably way better from what you described. More accurate.
More important to the incarnation, who may be buried under the weight of guilt and might yeet themselves in there unintentionally. Now they know they don't have to.
And that's why it's apocryphal.
Yep.
Yeah. I guess, and the Confederation does say that many people did not understand what Jesus was saying at the time that he lived here. So I guess we can for now review that most recent bit. Religious images as symbolic, not absolute. Hell as created. It is only a place of negative entities enjoying their power over others. Because of this power, they have made it something that many of the religions of the world feel is an actual place. Heaven is actually everywhere, including what is hell. Okay, let's go back to the original because I think it's taking too much out of context here.
Heaven is everywhere bit. That's really cool.
Yes. That is very nice and comforting.
That is cool.
Concept of heaven and hell. Yeah, because of their only realized by. Okay, and hell that
everything
is only realized by those with a
hell
negative.
Is creator. Every single thing is creator. That means everywhere is heaven, even hell. That's just beautiful. Come on, that's amazing.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Yes.
Because it's all the creator experiencing itself.
Exactly.
There's nowhere else but heaven.
Yes, so cool. Because they're doing what they want to be doing. Whether that's being tortured or to torture someone else.
Yeah. It really makes you think about the infinite creator's mindset to just, no limits, just being everything, even though that everything may not make sense to us from our STO side.
But it all kind of comes down to the whole shared illusion thing, kind of like what we've got here on Earth, right? You know, if
Yeah.
enough people cross over with that same shared illusion that they're going to be like killed for eternity and all blah 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 blah, then they're all going to go to the same place. It's the same kind of wavelength of vibration, so that's where they're going to settle. That's where their polarities are. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, do you remember the one where Quo was talking about? Yeah, if you do the whole Stargates thing and all like the Ash and Iodine hinting thing, then you just go to her social memory complex. Hell is basically just one of those kind of like huge like thought like forms that we've created, and then there's entities in there that kind of just take advantage of it because that's what they do. Anyway, yeah, I think that's really cool. Loving this.
Well, I did a quick search of inner planes and service to self, and they do have two passages, and I guess it says the inner planes do have service to self and service to others, so they must be separated in that whatever that dimension is.
Yeah, because it sickens the service to self people to see someone love and accept.
And you get a lot of near-death experiences with people that actually kind of go through the hell experience, and some people are actually fighting other entities and being drawn into this huge fight, and until they kind of give it up and ask to be brought out of it, they'll stay there. So we see in near-death experiences some people's experiences of kind of starting to go into that service to self polarity.
I once had a mate that did like way too many mushrooms, and he was convinced he was in hell and he was being torn apart by demons for hours, and then an angel came out, pulled him out of his body, and like saved him from like the hell dimension. Never been the same since. He's now in a mental institution, but crazy coincidences, right?
Yeah.
Wait, did he go back to the mental institution? I thought he was out.
Afterwards, he thought that he could hear people chatting about him through the walls.
Oh, okay. I see. So he
Yeah,
went
he
back.
should probably keep that stuff to himself.
Yeah, he probably should.
It wasn't nice things that they were saying, so he used to try to go outside and fight them.
Oh my gosh. Okay, yeah, that makes it worse.
That's unfortunate.
That's not keeping it to himself, and that's not processing it with forgiveness, love, and kindness.
Yeah, can I just say, before his brain melted, he was great.
Okay.
Now,
Yeah, no, but in NDEs, you see many people that create their own hell. And a lot
Hey,
of
can you guys
them,
hear me?
Yeah. What's up?
Oh, okay. No, go ahead, finish your thought, Bill.
oh, I was going to say a lot of them are like atheists or like self-proclaimed atheists, but a lot of those atheists were like born and raised Christians and stuff like that. So they heard the idea of heaven and hell. And so they think when they die that since they're still alive, oh crap, I didn't go to church, I didn't do all this stuff, so I'm in hell. So they go back to what they were culturally brainwashed in or religiously
Reprogramming.
Yeah, so it's quite interesting. A lot of these when you listen to enough of these NDEs.
Hey, speaking of all of this wrestling demon talk, real quick before I start making noise and can't talk again. There's a story in the Bible about, I think it was Abraham that wrestled with an angel, like physically, literally wrestled with an angel.
I think that's Jacob.
Jacob, that's correct. You are right. I knew I had the name maybe wrong.
And the angel named him Israel.
Yes. I don't know. What do you think Ra would say of that story? Because that's a really bizarre story. That's probably one of the more bizarre stories that I remember. Because I had to teach some of those stories, a lot of those stories. I don't remember the exact details of that one as far as the wording in it, and I don't have a Bible with me, but that just dawned on me that this was supposed to be an angel of the Lord, which meant a service to others being, which would be in the, I would imagine, the whatever the social memory complex of the angels is. But why the wrestling?
Fred, I would actually be more curious to what you think it is instead of what Ra thinks it is, because I know what I think it is.
I can't remember all of the exact context. I know he got renamed after and everything, and there was a reasons for that, but I'd have to read it again.
I think it was either an hallucination or he was wrestling with the Orion group thought form or an alien from the Orion group. That's me.
I have to go, guys.
Okay,
But you know,
thank you.
remember to process all catalysts, forgiveness, love, and kindness for all beings. All right. So
Andrei's got to go. He's going to turn into a pumpkin.
yeah, I have
Yeah,
to make
yeah.
pizza and have a sleep,
Yeah.
so that I could, be woken up by my AIs contacting me through my dreams to do more programming for them. Okay.
Wow. Love
So
you, dude.
yeah.
Please don't get brainwashed by computers.
There's a whole God has a plan. God has a plan.
Creator too, man.
Yeah, exactly. We're all one being. All that is good and loving. Okay, I mean, as I found you, I leave you in the love and light of the one infinite creator, the one within you and all around you, my friends. Go forth, therefore, rejoicing in that infinite power and infinite peace. Adonai Vasu Baragas.
Adonai.
Adonai Vasu
Thank
Barak.
you.
Así para acá.
You.